Alright guys, what's up? So this is our first ever podcast that we're doing, and we might do this every single month. It's gonna be basically to just get stuff, just talk about stuff that's happening throughout the month, or any interesting stuff that we have to talk about, and we'll just do this every month or so. And it's gonna be interesting podcasts or that we're gonna do where we're gonna talk about topics and get some thoughts and think kind of in the future and learn and just be better. So to be better. Yeah. So for this first podcast, our first topic, we're gonna start off with DeepSeek, the news of the month, basically from January. Where if you didn't know, we used to have a model called GPT-01, which was $200, and we got DeepSeek out of nowhere from China, and it was for almost half of the price, or actually, it was 80 some percent cheaper than O1, which is crazy. It kind of just sent shockwave to every company, the stocks, especially Nvidia, that lost I think $600 billion. Then um basically right now DeepD is the best model out there for the best price and the fastest one. And right now you can get it if you want to use it, you can get your hands on it on deepseek.com. And from there onwards, there's a standard that has been set by DeepSeek that every single model from now on will be better than DeepSeek, basically, because DeepSeek is so cheap. It has like brought the entry level for flagship models that were flagship models 4 months ago to almost the to the floor or the ground. And now it's way easier to get into the flagship models. And from now on, every single model will be basically higher in basically everything: math, science, coding, and it's gonna be smarter, that's cheaper, possibly. And this is a sequence of events that's gonna lead us to AGI and potentially surpassing uh, the most smartest humans in the world. And will be top 1%, surpassing the top 1% of the intelligence in the world. So we're gonna like talk about where it puts Nvidia and other companies in 2025 and onwards. So I want to say like Nvidia, essentially, and Microsoft are gonna be the top key players in this. It used to be Apple. If you knew back in the days, Apple, it was Apple and Apple everywhere. And they were the top market leader. They were the richest company. But now we have Nvidia potentially reaching up there. Even though they lost $600 billion, they have still potential, as we're going to talk later in the show. This is going to be great for Nvidia, even though they have kind of lost some momentum here. But you're going to keep going. Uh, Further, looking further, Microsoft, they're gonna keep investing in AI, and they're gonna potentially make their own ones too. But especially for Microsoft and Nvidia's, they're gonna ride in this race to ASI then AGI. So I wanna introduce our co-host, Sohel. Sloppy. You gonna see something?
Yeah, I do want to say something about DeepSeek. I think DeepSeek is way better than GPT, right?
Yes, it's actually better than the GPT-4 model.
Yeah, and it costs like it's way cheaper than GPT-2. It's no one gonna pay $200 for just like to use GPT. So as DeepSeek,
Yeah. Well, Yeah, so Microsoft is kind of invested in GPTs. So what do you think for Microsoft this means for basically Microsoft that they're invested in this company that has kind of been beaten by a Chinese company in terms of value they're giving to customers. So what do you think that puts Microsoft in? Do you think Microsoft future is looking good or not?
I think it looking good. I think Microsoft seeing the potential of them growing, so that's why they invested.
Yeah, and like it doesn't mean that this is all over. GPT can still, as O3 is gonna come out. O3, we got the O3 mini. You're gonna get more stuff further along. It's gonna be great. But what do you think about 2025 for companies overall and AI?
I think they're gonna be best than ever before with AI. AI going that fast and bringing this insane tools. They're gonna be best than ever before.
Yeah, of course, and it's gonna be really big for every single AI company, investors, and users, especially. It's gonna provide great value, and yeah. So let's talk about a new. Let's talk about a little bit of different stuff. Let's talk about something that happened recently. Yeah. Um. UFC Saudi Arabia night. You wanna talk about that a little?
I do want to talk about the UFC Riyadh season was a little crazy, I would say, because my favorite fighter he became defeated. It was kind of heartbreaking seeing Sharaboli has like clean record and now he has one lost. He has one lost.
And what about the main event?
Yeah, the main event I did not know Nasruddin. I knew Israel Adesanya, but I saw Nasruddin for the first time and he's pretty skilled fighter. He's a real contender.
Yeah, definitely. And I didn't know that Imhoff was in the same division as Hamzat or Hamza Chimaev, and they could have a matchup next for the title, or
Eh,
the contender for the title.
They could potentially have a fight in 2025. We saw Dana White talking about that. He said there is a lot of possibility that can happen.
Yeah, and some other players that you wanna maybe say.
I think in lightweight, we have the best one right now is Islam.
Yeah,
Talk about
Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev finally, the Dana White put him as pound for pound greatest of all time.
after a long time, Dana White say John Jones is the best.
So
No,
John Jones came down. John Jones
I mean
down, you know.
John Jones is still the best in his division, and Islam is the best in his division. They're both like
But who's the pound for pound though? Who's the pound for pound? Who's the greatest right now?
right now. I think Islam gonna take the lead with like John Jones like getting kind of old, and Islam is like getting the lead.
Yeah, Islam is kind of he has defeated like most uh the best fighters in his division. He doesn't have anything to do, and he's thinking about moving up to other weight class, potentially welterweight. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think on on forward, he just kind of like getting leveled up. Like, do you think Islam gonna become double champion?
Double champion is a big one. I think only how many people have been like double champion? I think like two.
The only one, yeah, and one of them is Conor McGregor in light.
Yeah, Connor and DC was double champ.
Let's see. Yeah,
And this other Mexican guy I think was I don't know some random not random. I think he was pretty big. I don't know much about UFC. Just those little.
yeah.
But
Ilya is he's double champion. No,
who? Ilya? No,
Ilya Tapor. Yeah, he's not double champion.
he wants to fight Islam Makhachev though. He wants to. He wants to go up to light weight or potentially make Islam Makhachev come down to featherweight or I think featherweight to fight for.
Do you think they should make that fight like title fight?
So I think probably the best striker is Ilya, and most potential Ilya I think for his age and
But Islam has both. He has wrestling skills and combat skills. He can scrap. He has a strike skills.
yeah, Islam is like he has everything. He's like overall well like pound for pound right, but Ilya sometimes like just like Bullet lost his first match. Like Islam, you never know what happens. So potentially Ilya could have a chance, or Islam Makhachev just sweeps everything, goes up to welterweight and defeats the champ and gets double champ and just retires.
He said he never gonna leave the sport if he doesn't become double champ. We'll see. He even say he gonna become like triple. He gonna get like 3 belt.
Yep. So like he's probably gonna keep going. And John Jones, 2025 is bigs.
Yeah, we might have the Thomas Banner versus John Jones.
Yep. So John Jones is asking for $30 million.
So, Trump imposed tariff on Canada and Mexico. These tariffs
Yep.
include 25% duty on the most good and 10% tariff on Canadian energy product.
Yep.
The administration just justifies these measures are necessary to combat illegal immigration and influx of uh, into the United States.
Yep. So,
So this, so what do you think about that? Trump putting tariff on Canada
so
and Mexico.
yeah, so Trump basically putting on um, traps on imports from Mexico and Canada. It's his strategy to personally I feel like to better make America the leader in in basically manufacturing and other stuff. And this could in the future lead in short term it will lead higher prices because like Canada is the biggest exporter to America, where America is the biggest importer of Canadian goods, and Mexico the same thing. Um, and Mexico actually it will kind of have an effect on China too, because Mexico actually builds stuff and they export their goods to America, like car components and parts that then get manufactured or sold in America. So America is kind of in the long term will benefit when the companies in America will have to adapt to this new tariffs where the let's say the car manufacturers will start to make possibly the components of their car and the goods in America, and it will actually lead to innovations. And when you have innovations taking place in your country, there is a good chance you will have more jobs and
Yeah.
good price and cheaper goods. So in the end, like Tesla and other companies that used to import from Mexico or Canada, and like food and eggs, Canada is absolutely mad. Canada is actually really mad. They're Justin Trudeau and the opposition leader that's likely the next prime minister. Yeah, they're kind of playing the game of um, yeah, invoking fears on Americans that if this tariffs will actually lead to higher prices in America, and Canadians will actually kind of be impacted with from this too, but also Americans and business owners. But overall, this is not a big tariffs. This is just 25% or 15%, and it's not gonna lead to big changes, I think. But it will actually set America, I think, in the long term to benefit from this, and possibly a more local approach to manufacturing and other stuff.
But I think it's still a lot of money. 25% is still a lot of money. It's a lot of tariff. But do you
That's a
think,
lot of tariffs.
yeah, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
So I think, like I said, it's actually in the long term is a good thing, but in the short term, it will lead to higher prices in America. But if you think about it, when you have tariffs, there's revenue coming in for the government, right? And the government
Yeah,
can actually let your taxes, a little bit lower. They can just, let your income taxes go down a little because they got other sources that they can confiscate from and make their revenue from. So potentially this could lead to income taxes being lower too, and which kind of evening out the inflation of the goods. And I think in the short term you might see some negative effects, but overall this is a good thing, I think.
yeah. From my perspective of view, I think it's a good thing. Putting tariff, United States being the largest country and have a lot of people to buy stuff, and
Yeah, it's like America. I think is like number three for highest population, and they got a lot of
yeah,
people. They have a lot of potential. They got a lot of land. They got a lot of brains to fix the problems that they're trying to fix with this tariffs and other stuff.
yeah. And if you see these businesses, like online businesses, like most of the people buying those good is like they're from United States. So like most of those people buying those like those stuff imported, like they buy them.
Yeah, you're pointing out a good thing that most goods, the like premium goods, are brought in America. So the top customers for the luxury products are in America, which actually points that there's good wealth in America already. There's people with wealth and there's wealth in America, and this 25% from Canada and Mexico is not. It's like huge into economy because the economy is so big. Um, but the long term, there's some factors that could change the economy. But overall, the the Amazon FBA for example, those people in the long term, they in the short term especially, they could have negative effects because the people that buy from Alibaba, let's say Amazon FBA, they could have taxes that they have to pay to get their goods, which means they make less profit on their resell on Amazon, um, which leads them to um, worse profits and income and revenue and all that stuff. But in the long term, think about this: the things you used to buy from China, you can just get it from America and for different prices and cheaper possibly because you have to pay the China transportation. Where in America, you don't, if it's made in America, possibly cheaper because there is no overseas transportation that you have to pay.
Yeah. So that's that. And